Hello and welcome back to Monners. So today, I might have mentioned in my last video, but we're going to start building some glamping pods. See, we've ordered this set online, and it's really easy. It's just plywood pieces which have been CNC'd, and they just tap together. Later we'll be gluing in the mortises and the segments. I'll show you later on in the video. It's quite hard to explain, but it's about 4.8 meters long by 3 meters, so it's pretty big. I think that's about 2.5 meters up. Yeah, so I'll be adding clips through the day as we slowly build it. It's really easy actually, nothing to it at all. So if I run you through, here's 1A. So 1A lines up to 1A here, so they fit in with these joints, and so on. And there's 10 or so bits, and they all go together. And in here we have all the mortises and tenons. These are the bits which are glued in. In fact, yeah, it's like something like that. We've only got as far as the frames for now. We'll figure it out. Okay, we're back. We're just tapping in the bits of wood. So yeah, see, 1A to 1A, 2A to 2A, 3A to 3A, so on. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we've now completed all 18 arches. So the next step now will be to stick them using wood glue in twos. So, for example, how we're going to do that is we're going to have this piece on the ground. It'll be as easy as using our Evo6 PVA. We're going to dilute it. Well, I'll have to read how much we need to dilute it by. There we go, woodworking 1 to 5 water, and a squeezy bottle. So we'll be filling that into there. Just it makes life easier than using a brush. And so this piece will stay on the floor. We'll put a layer of glue around it, like all the way around, and then that piece will just sit on top, and we'll use, like, I don't know, weights or bricks or something heavy to keep it there. It says on the bottle about 20 minutes for a reasonable bond, but then you have to wait 24 hours, so 20 minutes should be enough time for us to move it out, like leave it here, move it out of the way, lean it against the wall, then come back to it tomorrow. So yeah, that's where we've got to so far. I assume in this clip we'll only get as far as sticking all these together, as that will take quite a while. Then in the next episode we'll be building the main frame, so the spacing joints and the floor and all of that jazz. And yeah, yeah, I'll add some more clips in. As you can see, we started the gluing process. This is a bit crude, but at least it's working. We're using rocks to weigh it down, as you can see, and I'm just gluing up this one. It's just standard PVA glue, general purpose. Anything should do. We haven't diluted it because there's not really much point, because it's structural and we want as much strength as possible. So we're going to be gluing about 9 of these, as you can see. And yeah, I'll get back to you once we've done a few more. Okay, just done the last one. So that's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 we've done. And yeah, if that makes sense, the 9th is the last one. It didn't really take that long, about half an hour to 45 minutes. We used about half of our glue, so about 2.5 litres doing this bit, so I think we've overused a bit, because we'll need to glue all those for flooring in the next episode. But it's good to know, because this is our first pod. You can tell they're bonding quite well. So what we'll do, we'll leave these to set overnight. Then tomorrow we'll work on the flooring and whatnot. So yeah, I'll finish up that last one and well, I'll show you what we'll be doing in the next episode. And yeah, see you in that clip. Okay, so that's the last one glued and well, I was going to say clamped, but rocked, I guess. So tomorrow, this is what we'll be doing. We'll be starting on the floor, and this will be using these segments. As you can see, they're all just taped up for now, but we'll be cutting them and gluing them. So on the next page, this is how we'll do it. Bit self-explanatory. So they'll wedge in to these holes. The circular holes are for the cables, and the square holes will be wedges. And yeah, there's another view of it. Yep, so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow, well, in the next episode. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Welcome back to part 2 of the Glamping Pod for under £3,000. So in the last episode you saw us make the frames. We hammered them together and glued them up. They're still sat in, so we've left them on the side for now. Just had to move them out of the way for the barley. So what I'm doing here is the end spaces. So these bits are being glued onto the ends, of which they'll then go into here, like so. Try and do it with one hand. And we'll be doing that all the way around. So what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, about 16 give or take. So what I'm going to do first is just glue them all now, then worry about that later. So yeah, let's start with that. It's probably easy, just put a layer of glue on the ends and pull them on. So I'll get back to you once I've done a few more. Okay, well I figured that whilst they're setting they might as well set in the right position. I'll just add that one in a minute. So as you can see, it's starting to come together. It's a really easy kit, to be honest. I mean, just make sure everything lines up. That'll be the hard part. So what we'll do next is drop an arch on top, then wedge it with these wedges. This is an example of the flooring, by the way. They just interlock. So that's a wedge. So the next arch will sit on there, and we'll wedge it with glue and whatnot. I don't want to knock it too much, but yeah, you get the idea. So I'll do another clip once it's all set, when we drop the arch on. So I'll be back in a bit. We've dropped the arch on, so now this is just holding everything in place whilst it sets, as I mentioned in the last clip. And whilst it is setting, we thought we might as well start gluing the other panels in. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue on this face and glue it on there, then they should just drop in. Like so. You see it's alternating, so we have that way. Then on the next arch we'll have it like that. If that makes sense. So yeah, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do 16 pieces again, because that's how many is needed. And yeah, once I've glued these in, I'll start tapping the wedges in. The wedges need to be glued down this side. Down the side there against the wood, so I'll do that when I come to knocking the wedges in. So yeah, I'll start gluing again. It's starting to look alright actually. It's starting to take shape. So yeah, here we go. There's an example of how it goes together. So I've just put some glue down, tapped it in with a mallet, and that should be enough to hold it. So obviously I've glued these faces, that face, and those faces down there in. So yeah, I'm just doing this all the way around. It's really easy work. It's only taken me like 10 minutes, 15, 20 to do this so far, and I don't suspect it will take much more to do this ring. So yeah, I'll probably only go as far as this ring, because you know it's still wet, so I don't want to push it. But then I can always start on the other side doing the same thing, which I'll probably end up doing, to be honest. So yeah, I'll get to you once I've finished this ring. Okay, so it's now setting with the second arch. I've started work on the third one, but what I'll do is I'll end this part because it's probably getting a bit long, and I'll start a new one, which will just be the same process, only working on the other side. So as you can see, it's upside down pretty much. So that's because we've been working on the breather membrane for the floor. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow, I'll combine today's clips with tomorrow. We'll be putting in the insulation in all these boxes, which will then have a chipboard on it. But yeah, I'll add some more clips in as we go. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Alright, so we've just had this delivery of insulation. I've got a bit of a cold today. God knows how, because it's sunny out, but whatever. And this insulation, we're going to cut it up and fit it into all these cubes, squares. We've also got a delivery of chipboard, matchboard, is it matchbox, and some other bits and pieces. And the chipboard will go over the insulation once you've done the, well, it's a floor. So we'll drop the insulation in here, put any cables, run them through if we decide to do any for the floor, which, to be honest, because there's holes everywhere, we'll probably just run them through the walls. And then, of course, we're just going to sit the chipboard on top. And then, yeah, and we'll decide where we want things, because that's what I think the best way is. Put the chipboard down, then we can get a piece of chalk or something and draw out what we want, because it will have a bathroom and a toilet and whatnot, so we need to work out the best place to plumb everything. Yeah, here's a matchbox. I think it's called matchbox, and that you use it without nails, so use a slot. And once we've done the floor, we'll be doing that on the inside, all the way around. It'll be a hell of a job, but it'll be alright. And then once we've done the inside, we can work back with the insulation, and then the feather edge boarding, which has not arrived yet, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's about it so far. Yeah, I'll get back to you once we start doing the installation.
Have you got another bottle?
Yeah.
Has it got anything in it?
Okay, as you can see, we're starting to do the insulation. We're doing rolls of it for the floor. Then up the walls we'll be using the square stuff so it doesn't sink, and that happens from gravity over time. So it's really easy to cut, so I'm just measuring it the shape and putting a little bit down the side because it wasn't quite long enough. So yeah, I'll carry on with this and get back to you in a minute. Just almost finished the chipboard. We've actually run out, so we've left the last two for now, so we could definitely get them in. I think in the next episode we'll be finishing the floor, obviously, then starting the matchboarding on the inside, which should be good. I'll just add in a few clips like I do. And then once we've done the matchboard, I'll be putting the insulation in. Then, well, we don't have a feather edge yet, but then the feather edge. We also need to work out where the cables need to go, which we'll figure out tomorrow. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. So today I've been working on the matchboarding, the planks on the inside. It's coming along alright. Having a few problems with the compressor because it's not really big enough, I don't think. I'm having to stop every 5 or so nails, but we're using a few pneumatics today. Just fires the little nails in there, and yeah, it's coming up to a point where I'm bending them, which is a bit of a pain, but I'm getting there slowly. So with this side I'll be stopping right down the middle, and I'll start working on this side once we have the other piece of chipboard ordered. But yeah, we've finished all the insulation in the floor. Oh yeah, once I've done this wall as well, I'll start on the packing the insulation. Don't know if that's on there. So that will be using the square bits over there. So like the reason we use that square stuff instead of on the floor is it doesn't sink. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this rock wool stuff, over time it just sinks in the boxes, so that stuff just doesn't. But yeah, I think it's coming on alright, and I'll add some clips on as I go. So this piece of wood on the floor here will be going up here. So because I've already done these before, you just line it up there. Try and do this with one hand, get a square on it. And trim the edge off. Yeah, I'll have to put the phone down for this. Okay, so now I've cut the edges off. Just need to hammer it in place. The best thing to do is get this off cut and just pop it on the edge, on the tongue, so you don't break it. really need a tripod or something, do we? Okay, so that's about somewhere near. Have to put it down a bit more on this edge. Okay, and then we get the nail gun onto it. It's just one on every upright. Yeah, this compressor's not big enough, so sometimes it doesn't go. You want to, when doing this, you want to avoid the knots, else you end up cracking the wood. Okay, so this is how far we've got with the matchboarding. It's got to a point where it's getting pretty difficult to nail on, just because it's high up now, and it gets heavy on your own. So yeah, we've stopped for now. I've just been tidying up, really, getting all the rocks back in the bucket. But yeah, it's looking alright, I reckon. But once we've done the matchboarding, the next stage will be working out where we're putting everything. Because we're actually, I think I already mentioned it, but we're a board short on the chipboarding floor. So gonna sort that out next weekend, because I'm working in London this week. But yeah, I think tomorrow the feather edge boarding's coming, so that should be pretty good. But we'll have to get a electrician in and a plumber to work out where the pipes and stuff are going. So yeah, hopefully come next weekend there should be more on it, if my brothers have been working on it. Can't guarantee that, but we'll have a look. And yeah, hope you're enjoying the series. It's the first time for us, I'm sure I've said that, so it's not going to be like the most in-depth tutorial in the world. It's just us showing what we're doing, really. I think we're on about getting a total of 5 of these, building 5 of them. But we'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Alright, welcome back to another part of making the glamping pod. As you can see, it's been a while since I last made a video because it's dusty. And well, today I actually forgot to record, but I've been doing a bit of insulation and wiring, as you can see. So this here is lighting cable, and I'm just feeding it through these holes here, all the way down. And the plan is to have spotlights, so probably one every one every segment, or one every 2 segments along the top. There'll be pretty big LED ones, just little round spotlights, and that should give enough lighting in the pod. So pretty precariously on the bottom here, but yeah, I'll jump down and I'll show you the other cable, the plugs. We're going to fit about 3 plugs, 2 on this side above the kitchen units and 1 on that side above the bed. So yeah, I'll just jump down. Okay, now I'm down, and luckily didn't break my ankle when jumping off. So yeah, I just took off the coil here, but this is a 2.5mm electric cable. We haven't really got much left, so I might sacrifice the other plug socket which I was hoping to put on that side by the bed, but we'll probably fit 2 if not 3. We'll probably actually fit a plug on this side if we can fit it. So yeah, that's that. Here's the electric cable, the lighting cable. It's all the same stuff really. I mean, this is 1.5 I think. Yeah, this is 1.5 and this, as I was saying, was 2.5. The lighting in here is not the best, so I'm sorry for that. But it's a bit of a state in there at the moment, but I've been also doing the insulation. Yeah, we didn't order it right size, so we've had to sort of bodge it a bit. Yeah, we're sort of like, we're not rushing into the plumbing just yet because we'll be able to access it from the bottom into here. I know we've covered it in breather membrane and batten, but it should be quite easy just to take off because it's only stapled on to get to the chipboard. We've had a quote for a shower and a shower tray, like the whole enclosure. It was about 500 quid, which I think is a bit steep, so we're going to hold back and get another quote. So yeah, I'll carry on doing this. I think I know where I want now for lights, but yeah, how many is that? 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, fit 4 or 5 on there. The reason for not doing like I don't know, like metal, like hanging off lights, I don't actually know the name for them, is because the shadows on this wood. Well, because it's a small area, there'll be loads of shadows of like the furniture and the wood. Because let's be honest, I didn't really know what I was doing with this side, and as you can see there. No, that was broken. Where's a good one? Okay, there. That's what it should be like. But some of them it's just like that. It'll make more sense once the lighting's in. I'll be able to show you what I mean then. And this isn't focusing very well. There we go. Right, yeah. I'll carry on with this and get back to you in a minute. I think I heard a rat there. Yeah. Oh well, okay, and I'll see you in a minute. Alright, I got another pack of insulation from our pile over there. Just approximately cutting it to size. Here are a couple I just did. It's kind of, it's not quite flush because the curve, so it's not really ideal, but it should do. I mean, as long as it keeps most of the heat in. You'll have a log burner in there and an electric radiator if you need it as well. Yeah, come around this side. I've finished putting the electric cable across the top, and I pulled through the plug cable just to here for now. I think we'll stick the fuse box, not fuse box, I can't remember the name of it, in all the wiring. Yeah, I think it's a fuse box. Here, on this stud wall, with the plug, and we'll have a switch down here, and another plug there. So yeah, I'll just carry on with this insulation, and get back to you. Hello, welcome back. So today, oh, that was a curry banger. So today I've been working on the ensuite. It's quite dark in here, as usual, but we put in the stud wall up. The electrician's coming tomorrow, so that should fix the lighting issue. I've cut these into the wall. They're just the boxes for the switches. Here you go, example. Just put it on like that. I showed in the last episode where I fed all the cables through. I sort of cut through this by accident with the jigsaw, but luckily it's in the right place, I think. It should do. Also, there's another one. It was quite a bodge, if I'm honest. Oh, let's just hold it. I was stopping it falling back in because it was a right pain using the jigsaw. We do have a proper tool somewhere, but we've just got so much gear, it takes hours finding it. I'm looking, I think tomorrow I'll fit another one of these, just about there-ish, like, because you can never have enough plug sockets. I've got to be careful though, because I haven't really decided where the sink will be yet for the kitchen. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So it's coming on all right. It didn't take too long pulling that stud walling. We're going to leave the ensuite for now because, like I said last time, we're going to feed all the plumbing through the back here. So like take it through the floor and out or whatever. But yeah, I've just been doing a bit more insulation, working out where the electrician's going to be. I mean, should be alright if I put one more in the end there. Yeah, it's looking alright. Oh, tomorrow we're going to start cladding this side. So we got the breather membrane here. Just leave this on the floor, we got loads of it. So that should do the pod and some. Here's a cladding. It's feather boarding. I can't remember what it was. I think it's 6 inch. Yeah, round about. Not quite. Yeah, I don't know what that is in metric. Oh, you can read off the tape measure. What's that? 15 centimeters. Yeah. So we'll be cladding that on, overlapping it, and we'll be putting a tin like arch or whatever it's called, like a, yeah, you know what I mean, on the top to stop the water. Oh, yeah, another thing with these boards is they're exactly 4.8 meters. The pod is 4.8 meters, so I mean, if I get a piece of wood, they'll be flush like that, which isn't ideal because the water can seep in, and I mean, we've got to protect that. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut them, have a full board, right, cut it so it lines up with this arch, and have it overhanging by like so much, so it gives a little bit of a canopy, bit of shelter for your wellies and stuff, and protects the wood, the plywood. Yeah. What else? I mean, that's all for now, really. Tomorrow's going to be the big day with the electrician and whatnot. But yeah. Oh, as for doors, I've been looking online. We're going to fit just one PVC French door here. That should give enough light in. And then down here we're having a window there. Oh, we're also fitting a sliding door. Oh, it's dark in here. Just across here with a rail, like going that way. Should be good. And yeah. Yeah, I guess I better end the video. I'll probably add it into the one yesterday actually, because it's only 5 minutes long. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. everybody. So today we're doing, well, I'm doing some cladding on the pod. Trying not to break these going through the shed. So I've made a bit of a start. I've done 6 so far. It's going alright. A bit slow because it's only just me. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. There we go. You can see it. But yeah, it's looking alright. We haven't quite finished the breather membrane on the top yet, mainly because I can't get up on my own. But we've got all the lighting in, as you can see. All the plugs are there. They haven't been fitted yet because we're going to wait until we do the interior. The electrician came up, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, so that's all good. I got these little, well, templates, I guess they're called, so I know the exact width, the exact overlay for the next plank. There's 2 of these. I'm using a nail gun, the Puzzle Impulse, and that runs off little gas bottles, you know, propane and the battery. It's a bit of a state in here, but just working on the outside at the moment. Yeah, got the little saw here, the D-Wolf, DW743, if anyone has one of them. And yep, I'll carry on. Got my tunes banging, because pretty boring on my own like. And yeah, I'll see you shortly. I just dropped a new plank on, and but because the joins are every 600mm, so you'll see one there, one here, and there's another one here. I'm going to cut it, well, about here, because I don't want to cut it here because then it'll look a bit messy. So I'd be cutting them all down here, and if I get the tape, if I can find it. Oh god. Yeah, it's about 120mm, obviously. And I'll just cut this and be on my way. That's my chalk. Just a rough line. I mean, the blade's square anyway, so. Yeah, that's not the neatest. But yeah, I'll get it cut and show you, well, from there. Rightio, so I got the Puzzle here. That's all cut. You'll see it won't line up because this below one was actually off a little bit, so I had to angle that nail in at like a diagonal to get it into the membrane there. So if sorry, do this. I really need a tripod or something. So I do it about 2 inches from the top. Like I've seen on Google and places people can do it from 2 inches from the bottom, but they're just so thin, sorry. So they crack if I do it any lower. And I mean, this has been working for me, so here we go. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, like then. Oh, it slipped. There you go. See how many I can do one-handed. It's so much easier than a hammer and a nail. I'm sort of, I can see the middle because where these staples are. See, all the way up. So it's, and you can feel it as well, so it's about there. And feel it. Sort of ache in my hand now. Oh. Right. And there we go. It's easy enough. Just go straight in. Happy days. So now I'll cut this piece off the end. You can see where we've gone over the end because we're going to have decking down here, and it's also when the rain comes, because these boards are actually flush, they're 4.8 meters. Yeah, it'll just seep through the gap here and fall down the face of here, if that makes sense. And we've done the same round the back here. I think that's about 40mm. overhang which will go up. This is a guide, but I need to nail another plank on. Haven't got around to it yet. Probably just guesstimate it, to be honest. So yeah, I'll carry on and hopefully get somewhere halfway when you next see it. Righty, well, the PAS load has stopped working for some reason. It's probably out of gas. I mean, I did check it, but I think it just needs lubricating or something. So in the meantime, I'm up on the roof, balancing precariously on my knees, on the side of here. Probably not a good idea. Got the man basket. I mean, I need to climb up on. And yeah, so I've just been stapling this on. I need to tense it up from the other side, this side down here, but just working with the staple gun. Or the stapler. Ooh, it's bloody wobbly. So yeah, I'm not gonna film me doing this because I'm more than likely to fall off here. There's a bit of glare on the camera, sorry about that. And yeah, I've got about halfway up with the wood, the feather edging, so that's not too bad. Took me about 2 hours getting to there, so I guess there's another 4 to finish outside. So yeah, not bad going. Yeah, I'll catch up in a minute. Alright, so it's another day. It's almost night time. And yeah, turns out the PAS load wasn't the best tool because they're a bit thin. And ignore what I said in the previous clips where nailing them at the top was the best place, because it isn't. Yeah, and it also turns out that using a hammer and nail the old way is best. As you can see, the PAS load just split them all. Not ideal. And it turns out I was also using the wrong nails. So don't do what I did. So here are the other nails I've been using. Go find a bucket. They're actually called roofing nails or fencing nails. I know. Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the foot a bit there. Here you go, we're a bit thinner. And they're not fired out of a propane gun. So yeah, I've had to put, well, I thought, but because I've already done one at the top, put one at the bottom and keep it in order like that. So yeah, almost up to the top on this side. It's looking quite good, I think. Better than I thought it'd come out, especially after the mess the gun was using. As you can see, there's quite a bad one. Oh no, I did that with the normal hammers, just on a knot. Yeah, that wasn't great. But other than that, it's looking all right. Try and get out the dark a bit. We've got the lights on. So it's almost halfway. We're not sure what we'll put on the top yet. We're thinking either a piece of roofing tin or zinc. Zinc might look good, or even just some lead if we have any kicking about. But I'm leaning towards the zinc option, just because it looks different. I don't know many pods with zinc on the roof. I need to come down here with a saw, as you can see, keep it flush. It's not looking too bad. So yeah, there you go. I think tomorrow after work, like, I'll get to the top, stop like to the right of the spire a bit, then start from this side. It's not too bad going when working on your own. I mean, to start with, it was a right pain trying to get the first one lined up, but after that, it's all right. But yeah, let me know what you think so far. Got any suggestions? I'd be more than happy to, well, to do them, to be honest. Yeah, pretty dark in there. Hopefully the lights will be all set up in a couple of weeks. I mean, they're installed, but we don't have any supply to them yet. And we're also looking at fitting a solar panel whilst we're at it, like an £800 one. Not sure what wattage yet, maybe 2 kilowatt or something. Just to do the odd cup of tea and the lighting, really. We're not going to have a mini fridge or anything like that. It's just a microwave, which will be the biggest draw. Like, we do have a supply down there, but we don't think it'll be big enough. So yeah, a microwave, a kettle, and 3 plugs. And the lighting. Keep it simple. And there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, because I didn't to start with, like. And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully get more done. Howdy. So it's been like 2, maybe 3 weeks since the last video. I haven't done a lot because I've been working away and all that jazz. So I've made a bit more of a start on the inside for the ensuite, using the jigsaw to get the angle. You'll see there's a fair gap there, but we're going to put a piece of quadrant up the side and bend it round. There'll be more of that probably in the next video. And of course I need to come up the side here with the jigsaw to get that flush with the beam. Well, hopefully in this episode I'll get as high as a roof, and then I can start marking out the bed frame, because we're going to build like a box essentially, then stick a mattress on top, or 2 boxes and 2 single beds. We'll get to that point later on. Been working out how to do the roof. I'll probably finish that off today as well. It's not quite even, like one's a bit, yeah, you won't see it, it'll be fine. And we'll put the lead on the top in the next video. But yeah, generally it's going alright. I mean, slow progress, but there's no rush. And yeah, I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I'm almost at the top. I think I'm doing it a lot better than I started, you know, as practice goes on. You may wonder how I get the curve. If I just find a piece of wood. Sorry, it's bloody dark in here. So I use this piece of wood. I need some lights. Well, I have lights, but you know what I mean. And I go around here with my pencil. In this case I'm using a pen because I can't be asked to get a pencil. And I just trace it round to give me the angle. Easy enough, really. So yeah, just coming up to this part. Yeah. I'm gonna head off to a pub shortly, so I'll probably end up just finishing this part today. And I'll add in some clips tomorrow when I finish the roof. Like, you might hear that in the background. They're moving cows through the cattle crash. So yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, this might look different to the other clips because it's a new phone. And I've just put the plank on. It's quite a good fit actually. See, it's not held in by nails or anything yet, and it's sticking well. So as you can see, I haven't come down below with this end because, well, frankly, I'm hoping the overhang will protect most of it from the water. And well, I realised that these were overhanging by a good inch, or half an inch, and I don't fancy cutting them off right now. So yeah, I think it'll look alright, to be honest. So I'll cut a few the same length up until about here. That's when it gets interesting and I'll have to work out the bend and everything. But yeah, I'll be back with you in a minute. I almost made a mistake in forgetting to put the waterproof membrane down. That would have been interesting. God, this phone really isn't much better in quality, is it? Yeah, I'll probably go back to the old one after a couple more clips. So yeah, I'm going to cut this at, what was it? 295 centimeters, 0.5, so 2,950, and slap it on, and you know, cut around the edges. I'll just do the whole thing, then I'll work out where the window will be afterwards, and just cut, you know, a square or a circle or whatever a window's going to be out of this. And yeah, I'll show you once I've done a bit. So I might have forgotten to take a few videos. Yeah, so that's how it's gone so far. Got the window in, got the trim around the window. That took quite a long time, to be honest, but it looks good now. Got a bit of cladding. I'm trying to be still with the camera because it is awful. I'm going to have to use my iPhone to record, even though it's broken, but we'll see how that goes. So as you can tell, hopefully it won't fall on me because I haven't screwed it. There you go, opens like a dream. Quite a lucky find actually, because I found what? Well, there's another one in the shed, but I found both of them behind a load of pallets. So that's a good save right there. God knows how much brand new PV. I think it's UPV. PV, oh, whatever. PVA windows are these days. So yeah. Alright. So this is the progress so far. Yeah. It's coming on well. Just figuring out this idea. It's a bit rough because I put these on first, which was a mistake. I should have put that on last. It's like on top of all the membrane, but it is what it is. It's looking alright there. As you can see. You can tell the window is pretty big. That's because, well, I found it is one answer, and we're also going to have it as like a fire escape, and it's good to let in quite a bit of light as well. I'll show you from the inside. Here we go. I'm going to avoid cladding the interior until we get all the plumbing sorted. But yeah, not bad, I don't think, considering I have 0 carpentry qualifications. That's a window, and it's taken ages to focus. Come on. There you go. The door will be interesting. I've mentioned it in the other clips, but it's a bit big, so we're going to have to trim it. I'll worry about that another time, probably next weekend. And yeah, I'll finish on cladding here and get back to you shortly. Okay, so I'm just going to use a jigsaw to cut round the window frame. I've made a start, but I figured I might as well record the rest of it. I'm covered in molasses from helping my dad with the molasses tank, so that's nice and sticky. So yeah, this is just a standard one from Wix. I can't remember how much it cost, but it was under £100. But it'll do the job. And I got it all marked out on the plank. So hopefully it works. I can cut about 50mm off the bottom of the door frame. But of course I can always cut the corners. So yeah, this is a second-hand door. I mean, if I had more money, I'd have bought a door and had it fitted properly. But, it should look alright at the end of it, and we're going to sand down the paint, I think. And yeah. So right. I'll probably get the circular saw going shortly. I need to clear this pod out. It's full of crap. Right, move the camera down. I love this tripod, it's great. It's like on a gyroscope, I guess. And yeah. So, hopefully it's a frame. Yep, I can cut 50mm, I think. Well, I can cut in line with here, but I want to leave about 20mm gap, so yeah, there's my pencil. I'll do this with the circular saw because I don't trust my cutter. Right, so 20mm gap. About there. One on the other side. Yeah, and if you're new to the series, my name's Oscar. I don't really know a lot about carpentry, I've just been winging it. Building this pod because we have a farm and just thought we have a lot of wasted land, so get a few pods on the go. Like the goal essentially is to build 15 or so, but I'm just taking my time learning how to do it with this one. So yeah, got the circular saw for metal bay. And of course, there's no battery. I'm not going to cut it like this, obviously. I'm going to rest it down, but just showing you. It's a battery powered one, and we go like that all the way down. I'll have to build like a little nail, a small piece of wood, batten down the side, so it's straight. So yeah, I'll get it all set up and get back to you. Okay, so now I've nailed the batten on. I'm going to attempt to cut it. I mean, I should have goggles, but yeah. And what I'm doing now is chiseling away here, so it's like that deep, so I can put it flush with the chipboard. Because I was gonna think of cutting the chipboard to make, to let the door frame fit, but it'll make a right mess, so I'm trying to avoid doing that. I mean, last resort, I'll have to, but yeah, just been chopping this out. Even this, I think, is dark. So yeah, I'll carry on with this and drag it out into the light and show you once it's all finished. I've been planing it down as well with the old handheld here and the chisel, and yeah, I'll get back to you shortly. Alright, that's my brother just going off to do some drilling in the JCB. I'll be doing a drone video of that possibly tonight. It should be pretty good. So I've cut down the wood as far as it needs to down here, so it gives that gap for it to rest on here. But turns out I'll have to cut the chipboard because I don't want to end up cutting the corners off. So yeah, I'll get on doing that now. Just got a new battery, a charged battery for the Metabo. God, it is dark. Yeah, we're getting this out today. That's why I'm sort of rushing to get the door done and get the cladding on and the waterproofing and whatnot. So yeah, we'll be bringing it out later today, hopefully, because we're having loads of grain and wheat delivered. So yep, it's in the way, and I'll get back to you once I've cut this. I mean, once it is outside, at least then I can get the tripod out and do some proper videos of it. And yeah, see you shortly. There we are. I just finished cutting the outline with the circular saw, and just got the first chunk up, I guess. There is nails in here, so I'll have to pull them out, and you can see the insulation. Yep. Luckily there's no wiring in this area, because I mean it's all in the walls, and we are having like a control and fuse box here, but the wire, I think you might be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. See them just hanging down. That's all in this quadrant, the corner. So yeah, I'll carry on pulling this out to get the door in, not like bolted in or anything, just see if it fits, and then I can work on this frame and the CLS up the side, which will then nail into the door frame. That'll give like the cladding, the exterior feather edge, something to nail onto, so it can come up flush with the door frame. Well, that's a plan. I mean, easier said than done. So yeah, I'll carry on. Okay, as you can see, I've fitted the door frame, finished cutting out the chipboard. A little bit of a gap, but a bit of expanding foam, silicone should sort that out. So yeah, what I've been doing just now I turned on the saw, a little D-walt, and been cutting these pieces for up here, you know, the gaps. I just climb up without treading on my pencil again. Broke the lead off it. Ooh. I'll get this the right way round. I need to get my tripod, but like I say, once it's out the shed, I can do some good videos. See, that's a pretty good fit. Surprised myself when I sort of guesstimated the angle and cut it. And I've just done the other one here. Had to do a little bit of a shimmy down that end, and that goes in like that. Yeah. So what I'll do now will be put these. I need to cut it, but you know, just these planks up. That stays, and that'll just go up and round. I'll fit a little piece up there as well, just to make it look better. And then I should be on to the cladding, the waterproofing, then the cladding. I almost forgot the waterproofing when I was in the window last time, so yeah. I'll carry on. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. Hopefully the tripod which I had it up the other day. I mean, it's been a week since I last took those clips, so hopefully you liked that third person view where you could actually see me doing the stuff. Okay, so this is going better than I expected. This is the one side done, pretty much. Just gonna nail this in, but it's in there pretty tight. You know, not the neatest cuts, but if it fits, it fits, and it'll be cladded anyway. So yeah, just gotta do this side now. I measured it to be 1.96 centimeters, 196.5 centimeters. Sorry. Hopefully it's the same on the other side, but you know, I doubt it. I mean, it should be, but it is a second-hand door frame, so could be a bit of play in it. So yeah, I'll finish this off and get back in a minute. Okay, so we've just managed to get the door on. I don't think you really missed much. It was just me and my dad, just, like, trying to pass the door to one another and get the hinges on. But it shuts and opens pretty well. The frame was a little bit twisted, mainly because it's an old door and it's been in a damp shed, which isn't great. We've got the 3 hinges on. I mean, the hinges were on already, but we've just screwed it in. And we've got bigger screws going into the frame, the CLS. So what I'm going to do now is put some horizontal CLS about halfway up to stop any more twisting, especially when this door gets like wet and hot. It'll expand and dry and lead to cracking and whatnot. So I want to strengthen this as much as possible. It's a bit dirty, but at least it shuts, and it has a lock in, so there you go. I mean, there's a little gap up there, but I mean, I got to do a bit of filling and whatnot on the frame because there's a few holes on it, to say the least. But yeah, generally it's pretty sure it locks. There we go, locked. I'll just undo that, and yeah, happy days. So I'll carry on with the CLS on the sides. I'll probably take this out because frankly I don't know why I put it in. It's too low. And yeah, get onto the breather membrane like I did on the other side. Alright, so I decided, well, that one's already in, but I might as well just copy the other side. But yeah, they're all in pretty solid now. Yeah, that's about as far as I got since the last clip. So I've just had lunch. So I'm just gonna do the membrane now. Should be straightforward. Just cut it down to size and tack it in with some small nails, and happy days. Like for the main one we did use staples, you can't really see, but I'll just use little nails about that big because we've run out of staples. So yeah, I'll get on with doing that, and hopefully in the next clip I've got somewhere near done with the waterproofing, and I can start with the cladding. Yeah, and then I guess it's just working on the inside matchboarding. See, I haven't done the matchboarding over there because of the plumbing and whatnot, so I will be able to do the inside of this one because nothing's really going on the inside in between those walls, and I do need to insulate it before I forget. So yeah, lots to do and not much time. Okay, so it's another day, and I just got some more nails from the shed, and this is how far I've got. Let's go around the corner. I'm about halfway up with the cladding. Got the waterproofing on, using some leftover bits I had. Luckily I had no holes in, so I just used that. So the door, like I mentioned in the last clip, I showed, all works. It's dark in there because we're in the shed. And the lights aren't on, obviously. So yeah, I'm just about to cut another piece of wood and try and get the curve. This shouldn't take me too long, maybe half an hour to an hour. I mean, it's just annoying trying to get the right angle because there's always going to be a bit of a gap from the overlay. So yeah, I'll carry on with this, and yeah, not much else I can say really. It's just the same process as I did with the window. Just keep cladding, well, putting the feather edge on the top of there to give my spacings. I think it's about a quarter of an inch, half an inch overlap. And yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Right, so as an example of how I got the curve, sit here. What I did was get this piece of wood, so about, I don't know, so big, half an inch or whatever, and trace it around the edge. Try and get this in frame with my chalk on this side, so it makes a nice line of the curve all the way around. And it's not the best way of doing it, but it's working, as you can see. I just need to trim off that bit there, about 10 mil, I suppose. I keep going backward and forward so many times because I don't want to waste wood. So yeah, I'll carry on as I keep saying. Okay, sorry for my shaky hand, but now that I've cut down a piece of wood, I'm going to use this drill bit and the Metabo drill, the LTX. I don't know what size drill bit it is, it just so happens to be the exact diameter for these roofing nails, which I also don't know the size. All I know is that we have like 10 boxes of these, so it must be over a couple of thousand of them in the shed, and that's what I've been using. So what I'm going to do is just drill approximately, because I got to try and get it into the wood frame behind there, but I should do. There you go, that's one. And the other is in line with these, so I'd say about there, approximately. And the last one, I'll wait because I gotta use both hands. But I'll just show you the nails. And the reason why I drill the wood is to stop it cracking. So if I just put that one in, there you go. And they're just a lot easier to hammer in because these nails bend like crazy. Yeah, about right. My hammer, my new Stanley 20-ounce hammer, about £6 off eBay. And this one. And there you go. Easy enough. I mean, I gotta do the end one yet, but don't want to drop my phone. So I'll see you once this was all done. I'll probably show you how I'll fill in that bit up there. It should be easy enough. Just have to, get the right curve for the last piece of wood. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it so far. And I'll show you a clip in a minute. Welcome back. So I'm using the lead today, as you can see. I'm casting them down to 200 centimeters per length. It is 545 centimeters long, so what, 5.4 meters. So the extra, I don't know, I've worked out 6 inches overlap, so that's about 15 mil, which you'll soon see. I'm just cutting the rest of these, so 2 more of these 200 mil strips. I think it's actually about 197, but it's a bit, well, the more the better. And I'll be showing you how I attach it to a roof. Yeah, I'll get back to you once I've cut it out. Okay, so I've cut the lengths. I think that one's got a bit of leftover lead on the end of it, which I'll trim off in a bit. But what I'm doing now is just shaping it around the peak. I don't know the technical term for the top of the pod, but I'm doing that. It's always a good idea to use gloves. Yeah, when doing this. I mean, I don't do much lead work ever. Like, this is my first ever time using it, so I'm not that worried. But I think in future, I'll get some gloves on to minimise the risk of lead poisoning. So yeah, all I'm doing is shaping it round, trying to get it even on each side, and there'll be a 6-inch overlap on top of that piece, which I'll be showing you just in a minute. Yeah. If I haven't said already, this is code 4 thickness, and it's 150 mil wide by 6 meter long roll. So I'm just about to do the overlap here, so I measured, not quite, hang on, it needs to, yeah, well, there's about 6 inches, something like that. I'll use a square in a minute, I can do it with one hand. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute, and I'm literally just going to drag and drop until it's somewhere near, and carry on with the last piece over there. So yeah, okay, so I just got the last piece on, as you can see. It's not 100% straight yet, because this is just to get the general shape. I'll be using like a wooden mallet or rubber mallet just to get the finer details. So I've drawn a chalk line across each join of in the wooden frame, just so it keeps it nicely spaced out with the tech screws. I know there is another way you're meant to do this, but to save time, I'm just doing it like this. This is my excess, which might come in useful for another pod or touching around if we bother doing round the windowsills and stuff. We probably won't do that, but yeah. I've got a bit of a cold if you haven't noticed. And yeah, I'll go and find the tack screws and get this screwed in. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Okay, so I've got the drill and the screws. I've given it a bit more of a tap, but hopefully these will pull it down a bit more. I'll be like finishing it up after I've had it all screwed in. So if I get started, probably start at this end and work my way down. You might see this one's on join, so I'm just going to do them like here-ish. They're not the best screws, I mean, but at least they've got the seal on them. So when you screw it down, it'll compress and have a watertight seal. Well, that's a plan anyway. Hopefully I don't go through any lighting cables or anything. That's another thing. I have no idea if I haven't or haven't when I cladded this side, but oh, we'll soon find out once we plug it in. But yeah, I'll carry on with this, and probably the next clip will be the finished product. There's not much to it really. I just watched a YouTube tutorial, and my dad, who's done a lot of building in his day. So yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, so there we go. It's on. I'm just going to climb back up with the rubber mallet and even this out a bit. But yeah, looks alright. I mean, they're not the nicest screws, but they'll do the job. And I was down there a minute ago and you can't see the lead anyway, so it's a bit frustrating really, but at least it'll keep the rain out. Okay, welcome back to the Monners. So today I'll be working on cladding the interior of this wall. As you can see, I've made a bit of a start. The last 4 planks, so that one, that one, that one and that one, aren't nailed in yet, as I was just gauging the height, the length, sorry. And what I'll be using today is this pneumatic tack gun, or pneumatic tacker, whatever your preference is. And these are the nails. They're quite simple, and I'll be tacking them at an angle on here so that they, I'll show you with these. Let me just break one off. Right, so the nail will go in like an angle like that. If you can see that, which you can't really. Anyway, I'll be showing you when I tack them. So it hides the nail. It's called secret nailing. I believe it's called secret nailing. And yeah, it should also prevent, like, it should also like make sure the groove comes out flush with the next plank. So this obviously runs off this portable compressor here. And just got the power cord, so I need to plug it in. And yeah, I'll be finishing this side. And well, it's got to a point where I need to work out the angles, well, for the curve, which should be interesting. I sort of made a couple of mistakes on that side, but should be able to patch them up with a piece of wood. So yeah, I'll be doing this side and then that side, and then I don't know, possibly start work on this side. You can't really see, sorry, but that's the ensuite. It's dark in there, and I haven't yet bolted in the window, so I might just finish on that. But yeah, it's coming together slowly. We got the kitchen unit here and the door, but we haven't decided. We might be able to do a swinging door instead of a sliding door, but I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll make a start. Probably just nail these 4 in, show you how I do it, and yeah, come back to you, well, when I'm a bit further up. Yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. So I've just done 3 of the 4 pieces of wood. So you can see it's that one, that one and that one. They're in there pretty solidly. So on the 4th one, I'll have to work up the angle. I've already done it, but with this piece of wood. So all I did was I got a piece of wood, which is like a small piece of batten, and pushed it up flush whilst holding the pencil against it. This gave me the angle. So I've just got this piece of wood, so I don't waste wood. I keep saying wood. But as you can see, it's thereabouts, you know. I might just take a bit off there, get it even more flush. And I'll be tracing this angle onto my main piece of wood and dropping it in. Okay, so now I'm ready for the first plank. So I've got my tack gun here. I've just turned off the compressor, but it should have enough in for a couple of shots. So if I just, I'll move the first. There we go, that's much better. So if I angle the gun like so, press against it with my thigh or hip, and hopefully, there we go. Sometimes it misfires just because, well, there's often a kink in the pipe, or it's not really the best compressor for it because it just doesn't have enough. Like I'll probably get 4 or 5 to a tank, well, to enough PSI. So that's why I just leave it on, but I'm not leaving it on whilst I record because it makes an absolute racket. So yeah, there you go, it's just the same process. I usually do 2 in the end, but I'll just show you here. There you go, that one went in pretty well. And for the most part, I mean, there are a couple of mistakes, but for the most part you won't be able to see that. I should have really done it a bit higher up and steeper angle, but yeah, I was recording with one hand. But yeah, I'll carry on with this and I'll show you how I'll do the angles. Yeah. Alright, so we've just finished the walls. This is how they look. Look pretty good.
Took us a fair while.
Yeah, it did take us a while. Just the angles took ages. You'll see there's a few gaps, but we're gonna get a bit of silicone and a small piece of wood to bend around it. That'll probably be the next episode. Welcome back to the Monners. So it's been a few weeks since the last Glamping Pod video. Just been busy waiting for bits to come along. So as you can see here, we've got the boiler and radiator in. It's come out pretty nicely. Unfortunately, I planned to have a boiler inside the kitchen unit, but it's too big, so we're gonna have to improvise. We'll have to do this on like a hinge, so you can open it, because that's the only way you can access this. Then build like a cupboard around it, but that'll probably be like a end goal project, like at the end of it. We got the flue coming out the side. Get the camera through. There you go. And there's also the gas intake. Feeds in from the back there, and the hot and colder. It'll be running off LPG bottles, of course, so it's not mains or anything. And this is a LPG combi boiler. No idea what make it is, to be honest. So yeah, there's that. We're still working on this wall, not sure when I'll do that. But today I'll be slapping on some of this saddling classic wood protection varnish on all the walls, hopefully without getting too messy. So yeah, this is just like to protect the wood, because you might be, well, you can see it, it's mouldy. It's not great, and there's also fly muck everywhere where the flies have had a shit. So it's just to protect it really, and I reckon it'll look nicer. I got a sample here. It's like not too much of a tinge. It's quite clear really, and nice and thin. So it's that. I've also got some wood filler for some reason. I'll find a place to use it. I'm delaying doing the moulding because we've tried it with 3 different types of wood now. So we've had Scotia I think it's called, Quadrant, and just strips of wood, but none of them work because we have to bend it round and twist it at the same time, and it's just not working. So I think we might have to just cut some bits of square wood and just bead it round. I'll leave that to the end because yeah, I'll be spending all day doing it. So yeah, the goal today, we'll get it varnished, and yeah, and in 3 days we'll be having the vinyl put in by some bloke from Shrewsbury. And and he'll be doing that. So that means we'll have to get all the units out, the chop saw, all this junk I've just got piled up, and then pull it back in again, basically. So yeah, I'll probably do a time lapse of me painting. Hopefully it's not too boring. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so I've done about half of the kitchen area now. You might be able to see the difference on camera. I'm not sure if I'll do another coat. I might just touch up some areas where they're a bit light, like right there. But of course we're going to have a moulding up there, so it doesn't really matter too much. It is hot in here. I'm going to have to put an extraction fan in the bathroom at some point. Else it will get real sticky and mouldy in here, even with the coating of the varnish. So yeah, I've just moved the chop saw out of the way. I'm actually going through it quite quickly. Well, quicker than I thought, because it's expensive, that stuff. It's £60 for 5 litres. So yeah, I'm just about to start on this side. I know that wall's missing, but I'll do that eventually. I'll probably varnish the wood, then nail it once a bit of wood is varnished. But yeah, I just realised a slight issue. I should have varnished before the radiator, because yeah, there's a gap behind it. I'll probably cover it with something, maybe a bit of plastic and masking tape, and just get as far as I can. I don't think anyone's going to be too fussy, because half the time they'll be walking, I'd imagine. So yeah, I'm just about to do this side. I'll probably stop in line with, well yeah, here. Then I'll drag this out, the kitchen top. Not sure if we'll get the units out yet, because I'll have to find someone to help me, because they're heavy. So there's that, and yeah, generally it's going alright. Also there's this bathroom. Yeah, there's still quite a lot to do. So yeah, I'll carry on, and yeah. So it's a couple of days later. I didn't manage to finish all the varnish because we had the vinyl man come in. So as you can see, it's looking good. So I went for like a light oak planks sort of material. It's very echoey in there now because I took out all the kitchen units and stuff. We've also finished doing the sliding door. I think I put some clips in beforehand, but we'll see. So there's all the running gear. It does need to lift up a bit, I think. Yeah, just because it's hitting the ground a bit. But we can adjust that with the spanners. So it was 2 sheets of vinyl. It's a bit muddy already, but this was the main sheet, and then we came into the bathroom, and it's looking good. And of course it's been sealed all around the edges. So the next stage will be to get as much more varnish as I can. So I bought some of these plastic sheets, and I'm just going to lay these down here, because this area from about where you can sort of see it there and up to about here is not done. So I'll be able to do that and also do the bathroom without getting it too messy. We also had a bit of a thunderstorm the other day, and there was a few leaks coming through on I think this plank of wood. So I marked it there and there. I'm not sure what that is. It's probably just a hole in the membrane. So to fix that we'll have to take it off and take off a couple of lengths of feather edge on the outside, then go in and put like a sheet or a patch on, I guess is the best way of doing it. But yeah, we'll leave that until the end. So yeah, the boiler's looking good and everything, and I'll pop this on the tripod and do a bit of I'll extend the time lapse, and yeah, hopefully should get it all done. Fingers crossed. Okay, welcome back. So I've pretty much finished or got thereabouts with this room. I've just got to do a few bits around the bottom of vinyl, which I need to mask off, and I'll do that after this clip. But yeah, it's coming along pretty well. I've been around the boiler, so what I did, I masked it off and then just painted up to it. There was a few spots where it's like splashed, so I'll get those now with some blue roll. So overall it's coming out pretty nicely. It does stink though. It stinks of like a toffee, or like a burnt toffee, so I'll have to get some sort of air fresheners in here. Another odd job is we're gonna have to sand down the wood in there, as you can see, but we'll do that when the electrician guy comes. That brings me on to another point. We're thinking of putting a solar panel on the roof, just for ease of off-grid, because originally we were going to put it at the bottom of the lane where there's a small electrical power source, but I just don't think it'd be right. It'd be a bit too loud, because we get loads of deliveries in a day to the farm. So what we're going to do is put it by we call it the pond, but it's a nice little small lake. But the only downside is that there's no power going to it. So I reckon if we can get away with a solar panel on the roof, have an inverter coming down here in the, yeah, because I had the cabinet which I intended to put that into. If I could put the inverter into that cabinet and maybe a couple of batteries, I'm not sure yet. We're still thinking. We might even just do it in like a separate shed and have the panels elsewhere, so to say, then have just a feed coming in. But it is on the table. I reckon a solar panel would be ideal. And these are only, what, 3 watt lights, LED lights, and I think there's about 4 in here, 2 in there, 7 of them. What, 6 of them? So that should be all really. I mean, the only other power is powering the boiler, which is minimal, I'd imagine. So yeah. What else to say really? I've done quite a lot in this episode, to be fair. Like a good stage, should I say, and got the sliding door. What we need to do next is build like, I think it's called a PEL. Well, it's basically a shrouding cover around the mechanism to hide it, then I'll varnish that one. I also need to put that panel of wood up there, but I keep putting it off, but I need to do it eventually, so I'll probably do it in the next episode. So yeah, what I'll do now is I'll finish off doing the bathroom. I won't show it because it's tedious. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll put the links in the description, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers. Hello and welcome back to the Monners. So today I'm going to be showing you my new solar panel system on the Glamping Pod. This has been a project I've been working on for a couple of weeks now. It's basically a 500 watt system leading into well, it's just a farm battery for now, but I am going to invest in some 150 milliamp batteries. But here we go. So I can't remember when the last Glamping Pod video was, but I've done a few things since then. One being the solar panel system, as you can see. I'll go through this in a moment, and inside we also have the bed. The bed. This bed was delayed by about 1.5 months because of coronavirus, but I reckon it goes in really well. All I need now is a mattress and some duvets, and it's getting there. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all the new stuff. So if I go back to the solar system, what we have is a 60 amp MPPT solar charge controller. So this thing here, it feeds the power from the solar panels on these 2 cables, if you could see it, those 2. And if we take them back, so one's positive and one's neutral, not negative, not neutral. And they go into these MC4 connectors, as you can see. Hopefully it's not too windy or loud. We are like injecting cattle in the background, so you might hear some mooing. But yeah, that's how it goes together. Like, they just clip in, really, very simple. Although I think one should be red and one should be black, you know, just to be obvious. So these are 260 watts each. I got them second hand. They're about £70, £75 when I bought them. They are a couple of years old, but I haven't had any problems with them. And the guy who I bought them off is willing to sell me some more when I need them. So if we come back to this, we have our MT50. It's a bit dusty. I'm not even sure you'll be able to see it in the light. But this just gives a display of the voltages. So it's, well, I'm getting about, what was it, 12.5 volts into here. That displays it on here, and it also displays like the battery voltage. So it's 13.8 volts on the the manky battery I found in the shed. Like, this is only a temporary battery. I don't intend to use it, you know, to run the pod. I am going to buy some leisure batteries, but it's just good to see if it worked when I plugged it in. So yep, here's the MT50. I'll be putting a link of all the items I used in the description. And it's like this it's an Ethernet cable essentially. It just feeds into the back of it. Next up we have our 60 amp fuse, because it is a 60 amp MP charge controller. I just thought I'd protect it with a 60 amp fuse. Just repeating myself a bit there, but oh well. and that goes into the positive inverter right here. This is pure sine wave. I did look into it. Pure sine wave is definitely the way to go. Can't remember what the other one's called. I think I'll put some subtitles in. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is a 2 kilowatt inverter with a peak of 4 kilowatt. It's a bit overkill for what I'm doing, to be honest, but I mean, I better go big so I can, you know, future-proof it with more panels in future. So after, you know, the DC, this is a DC feeding into here, goes in, we have another breaker, 200 amps, and that feeds down and into a battery. So it's very simple, really. It just looks a bit crazy with all the cables going everywhere. And it did take me a while and a fair few YouTube videos to get my head around it. I will link, I put a link in the description where what I watched. I think his name's, he's an American bloke. He was really good, actually. Something solar power. But yeah, that's a system essentially. So 12.5 volt or 14 volt, one of them, DC runs into the charge controller. That trickle charges the battery, and it also feeds the inverter, which converts the DC to AC power, 240 volts at the bottom, and into my plug. So yeah, well, actually I had to I made a mistake. Well, I didn't, the electrician did. They put a male adapter on the back, and of course I wired it in and forgot that I had to take the back piece off, so I've sort of bodged it in for now, because I was going to do a male to male, like a male plug to a male 16A socket, but I figured that might kill me, because it's just going to be live over end, so I better not do that. But yeah, so that socket just feeds out from there and into a fuse box inside the pod. Here. So like, I wondered why it wasn't working to start with, but you have to flick the fuses up. So there is a good layer of protection in case a surge does happen. So I've got 3 or 4 fuses between here and the pod. So yeah, that is the system, really. Very basic. Yeah, I didn't really do many calculations. I just put it together and hoped for the best, and it seems to have worked. Probably not the best way of doing things, but yeah, what's the worst that can happen? So yeah, I just mowed the grass here so it didn't look like an absolute mess. So the pod's almost done. But yeah, whilst I'm here, I might as well show you the power. So these are 3 watt lights, and I've got 4 in the 4 in the main room, and there's 2 in the bathroom. So if I turn the bathroom on with the camera focus, okay, sorry. If we turn it on, we have a light, which I am surprised worked, to be honest. When I plugged it in, I was going to be like, oh, it's a 50 chance it will work and a 50 chance it won't, but it came out quite tidy. And I was sort of worried I nailed through the electricity cable when I did the exterior cladding. But no, all seems to be good. And if we do the main room, oh, this camera. Yeah, I'm due to be getting a new camera soon, so I don't have to rely on this old thing. But wait, there you go. Just thought I'd make it dramatic. And these are really efficient, like I said, 3 watts. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yes, I can do maths to some miracle. So that's only 18 watt feed off my 520 watt system. And of course I'm going to be having, not a lot really. I mean, we've got the gas hob for a kettle if I need a hot drink in the morning. The boiler here, I'm not sure if it'll feed it yet, but I can just turn it on. I think something up. But no, it's not connected yet. I need the gas technician to come back out and install the gas bottles when we move it down the field. And oh yeah, there's another thing. I'm also going to have a fridge in that compartment. No, this compartment here. I'm going to get a bar fridge so we can just... Well, I don't really want people cooking in here. I mean, they can if they want. But I don't want loads of grease everywhere and people making a mess. So I'm only going to store in like some milk, some fruit, you know, something simple, bit of water maybe. So yeah, so above the bed here we have some sockets, and that is a really useful one. It's a USB, so people can charge their phones. I am going to put a shelf like here, so I'll have a cable, well, the person who's staying will have a cable up onto their phone with a shelf with some books and what have you. Yeah, so, you know, just to further show that it's working, and I am going to give you a noise warning because this thing is loud. So yeah, there's your noise warning for headphone users. I'm just going to turn this on. There you go. The lights do flicker a bit because, well, I'm not really sure how big that battery is, but it's not big enough. But yeah, I have a few more sockets dotted about the pod. 2 there, 2 up in the corner. I might even fit an espresso machine in here. That might be quite nice. And I think there's a plug or 2 plugs in here. I can't remember. I don't think there is now. But yeah, I've also got a bit of a door frame in. It didn't really line up, but we won't look into that too closely. And it just generally needs a clean, to be honest. And some furnishings, which will be the next episode, furnishing everything. So yeah, that's a system, really. I mean, very simple video. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much. Here's another thing. This is my temperature sensor, which should not be in the ground in the dirt. And this just simply plugs into the bottom of the charge controller. If I can do this. See, temp sensor. Oh. There we go. And this sensor just goes on your battery, which ideally should not be in the sun. But yeah, that's it really. The pod has light. Oh, that's another thing. We're going to stick an outdoor light above the door, and we're going to, I think we'll change the door. Or, nah, I think I'll just strip the paint and paint it brown or something. Because white is not the best look. But yeah, that's it. I've said that's it about 4 times now. But yeah, I'll just unplug that. That's that one done. And yeah, as for like what I'm using the power for, obviously lights, a fridge, and an espresso machine I think will do. I won't really bother with a TV unless I end up living in it by some miracle, which I could, to be honest. I could quite easily, but I don't really need to. So yeah, the next step will be furnishing it with a mattress, for one, moving all the junk out, sealing up a few of these holes around the edges here, and I might just silicone them, to be honest, and lastly moving it down the pod without dropping it or breaking it in half, which should be well, moving it down the field, sorry, should be rather interesting. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions for my solar system, I do aim to run at least 2 pods off this eventually. Yeah, but I thought the lights went out then. Yeah, so 2 pods, maybe a 3rd pod, and see how it goes in the future. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. See ya.